Now, with July being the sort of in-between month of heat-loving squash and corn sowings, but too early for quick cropping cool weather crops, there are plenty of vegetables to sow still. Here in Ireland, we are in the USDA zone of 8 to 9. Us here up on a higher elevation, probably about 8B, 9A, and our climate is referred to as a temperate oceanic climate, which means just mild annual temperature throughout without any long periods of highs or lows. And if you are living in a colder climate, even down to zone 7, then this plant list could apply to you, but do check the seed packets for further information. Now, in the middle of the summer, during the month of July, when the sun is the brightest and temperatures the hottest, thinking of winter vegetables to sow is probably the furthest from your mind, especially when the garden is still so full of summer veggies to harvest. But as we're heading towards autumn, some vegetables are best to be sown now to give them a good start before the temperatures get cool again, and then the days get shorter as well. Now, the stars of a winter vegetable garden are the brassica family plants, as they are the most frost tolerant plants above the ground, and that is why it's the most important to have kale and cabbage, likes of Savoy cabbages, sown now. And you can even stagger small batches of sowings by 2 to 3 weeks to have a continued success harvest rather than a glut. And it's especially true with the kale Nero di Toscana, as it can be consistently sown from here throughout the month of September. And all of these can be obviously grown straight outside without any further protection. Right, for continued salad harvests, now is the last month to sow cost lettuce varieties for those whole heads of crispy and crunchy leaves. And I have a romaine balloon variety and little gem, very well known variety here. And these can be sown directly outside, just keep them well watered during the dry weather. Now, for root crop successions, I'll be sowing more beetroot, turnips, kohlrabi and even sweet or rutabaga. And all of these will be sown in plug trays like this Charles-Dowding one here. The beetroot and turnip will be multi-sown by 3 seeds per plug, but kohlrabi and sweet individually. And once the roots have filled those plug trays and it's quite easy to slide them out, I'll plant them outside and should have the harvests before the hard frosts arrive, leaving sweet probably the last to harvest, as it is winter hardy out of all of these vegetables and can tolerate the best of what cold weather has to offer. Now, the next vegetable creates perhaps a bit of a mixed opinions in our household. It is the bulb fennel or Florence fennel. And it can be a bit tricky to grow as it could bolt easily. But once it is planted when temperatures are warm but soil consistently moist, should provide an aromatic aniseed flavoured treat in early autumn. The last of the sowings for this month will be plants to be grown either in the greenhouse, polytunnel, or if you're growing them outside, ideally with a bit of protection from the rain during the winter. Not from the cold, but just from the rain, because it can make the plants mushy and soggy. And first of all, parsley, a must-have in the out of the herbs, and also a bit of spring onions. And I will be sowing and growing them in the greenhouse. It's just so much handier to harvest. And then we're coming to chard and chicory. Chard will be a brilliant cut and come again leafy vegetable, and usually winter hardy, but I'm just finding the rainbow varieties with its brightly coloured stalks is more prone to frost damage rather than the white stalk ones. So I will grow some of these in the greenhouse too for guaranteed harvests, and then obviously I'll have some of them out in the beds as well. And then chicory. It is something new for us to grow, but Monty Dunn swears by it, so it is also on my sowing list this year. And I am trying a rare radicchio type of a chicory, which creates a cabbage-looking type head and will be harvested as a whole later in the year. And the colour looks really good as well, so I'll be looking forward to that. Now, have you been growing all or some of my listed vegetables to sow now in July? Or are you sowing something extra? Let me know in the comments below, as shared knowledge is helpful to us all. Otherwise, thanks a million for watching, and we'll see you next time.